Hey guys, this is Tauna, and today we're doing an upgrade guide, but this time with a difference. Everyone's gone and done their upgrade guides, right? Like, you've seen them all over the place. Everyone's gone and they've pulled cards from all across the Magic multiverse that are going to be so much better within this deck, or just from other universes beyond as well. But I want to do something a bit different because I'm doing what I'm going to actually be doing with my decks, which is upgrading them and keeping them on flavor. This one here is going to be the Counter Blitz one. We're going to be upgrading it with Final Fantasy only cards, either pulled from the actual Final Fantasy set, from the other Final Fantasy Commander decks, or from the bonus sheet, because the bonus sheet does have some really amazing cards on there. I also did not aim to put on the really expensive cards from the bonus sheet. For example, like a Ristic Study. Ristic Study could fit in here pretty easily if you want a little bit of stacks to kind of get you going at the start. However, you know, I did pull from like the rare and below essentially. Now, let's go into this one specifically. This deck, the Counter Blitz deck, out of the box is actually just absolutely bonkers. It is potentially one of, if not the strongest precon that they've put out. The deck is just synergized so well among all of its themes. It's got like a turn 2 if generous, turn 3 potential infinite between the Walking Ballista, Hardened Scales, and the Garter and Lazo here. It's actually just an insane deck out of the box. Yeah, I can't believe quite how strong this deck is. I'm really happy with it. I think it's pretty bonkers, to be honest. So as you can imagine, you know, the upgrades here are going to be on the lighter side of things, but I did find some stuff that I thought was going to suit it better, some sub themes in here that we can potentially change out, or moving more towards like the summons and stuff like that, which I think work really well with basically everything within this deck. So if we go over, here is my upgraded version of it. I'll link it down below, which I forgot to do with the limit break one until someone pointed it out. And let's go through each of the upgrades individually. So the first one here we have is Galof's Final Act. I really like this as a, hey, my creature is about to die, I'm going to put a whole bunch of +1s on something. And this works really well when you've got summons, because you can use this before the summon sacrifices, then the summon dies, and you put all the +1s onto something else. You can also use it to just like on your commander, if your commander is going to die, whatever you've got that is huge and about to die, using this on it means that you're going to get to put a number of +1/+1 counters onto another creature equal to its power, which in this deck, it can get very, very out of hand as to how big your creatures can be. Next, we've got Garnet, Princess of Alexandria. As I said before, I kind of added some more of the saga creatures in here and stuff, and she suits it really well, not only because there's saga creatures that within the deck she works well with, but also just the new ones that we added in. She works with +1 counters. She puts +1 counters onto herself. She also, you know, just keeps our saga creatures around for longer. We've got Cultivate here. I wanted a little bit more ramp. If you actually have a look in the base deck, there is 2 pieces of ramp here with Farseek and 3 visits, which I like, but I ended up replacing one of them with a Cultivate because I felt like I wanted to get 2 lands out for rather than just 1. So I thought that this was going to be a better idea. Now, the next one here is mostly just a flavor like upgrade, right? Like, this is just mostly for flavor. It's going to be good in the deck, and I think it'll work really well with like all the proliferate stuff in it. But Strixhaven Stadium / Lucas Stadium is not necessarily a very good card. You are going to get to slowly kind of build it up, and then once you get to 10 or more points, you remove them, and then when you deal combat damage to someone, and then that person loses the game. Again, I thought that it just worked really well with Titus, and I thought that it was just a very interesting and flavorful card that suited the deck really, really well. Like, there is a Blitzball Stadium within the actual precon here, and this is essentially that, just a different version of it. We've got the Stroke of Midnight here as Memories of Nibelheim, just an extra removal, better removal than is in some of the decks, especially because this can remove all non-land, like any non-land permanent. We've got Summon Fenrir, ramp, plus buff up the next creature you bring in, plus draw a card. Yeah, good. Like, I don't think I need to explain that ramp is good, and buffing up a creature with an additional +1 when it comes out is good as well. We've got Ishai Ojutai Dragonspeaker here as Benedicta Harman. I have no idea who all these characters are, so don't ask me. She's from Final Fantasy 16, however, but whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter onto her. So very similar to like a Mana Gorger Hydra, essentially, like a Forgotten Ancient kind of thing. However, this time around you got flying on here too, so then you're getting to get stronger. You know, you're getting the +1s on here, getting the +1 essentially potentially from like hardened scales on here, but it's also a big flying beat stick. We've got Dion and Bahamut's Dominant. Now, I, again, really love these Saga creatures, right? However, Dion is just potentially like the best of them. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm really like underestimating or overestimating him, but I just think that he's amazing. He's going to come in. He's going to, on your turn, you're going to have him and all knights you control, which he creates a knight. Have flying. Then you can pay 6 to flip him. When you flip him, he then puts +1 counters on all your other creatures. They all gain flying for the first 2 turns. Then on turn 3, he is then going to destroy target permanent. And then he'll flip back into this, and then he'll create his knight again. From memory, this is his boyfriend as well, so you're going to get an infinite version of his, like, infinite amount of his boyfriends, which I guess is probably his dream, or, you know, I'm sure that I've had that dream before. It's expensive to flip him over, don't get me wrong, but even on this side, he's still like a decent beat stick, and on this side, just buffing up everything is amazing. We got the Summoner's Grimoire here. Again, I really love this card. Any kind of, you know, summon-based deck should definitely have this card. Like this, when I say summons, I mean the Saga creatures, by the way. So this one here is whenever this creature attacks, you get to put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. We've seen that before with, like, you know, loot and stuff, like what was he? Cujo. I can't remember his name. The one from Duskmourn that cheats out creatures. You know, just cheating out creatures is a thing. This time around, though, however, it's whenever they attack, and if it's an enchantment card, they enter tapped and attacking. Oh boy, you can cheat out huge things with this. We got the Earth Crystal, just an additional +1/+1 counters. Yeah, I don't think I have to explain why that one's good. As well as reducing the green cost by 1. Summon Shivra here, just an additional summon, but this time around we've got some tapping down of our opponents that happens, as well as drawing cards for each tapped opponent creature. So you can get some really big, like, card draw off of this, especially if you can keep it around for a little bit longer to get those summon counters out, because then you're following it up by, you know, proliferating those summon counters, keeping them tapped, and then boom, you get to get, like, you know, 5 cards off at the end of the year or something. We got Yuna, summon us. Yuna, Hope of Spira here. And for some reason, this is the wrong version of it here because that's going to be the more expensive version. Here, Yuna, Hope of Spira. So she gives all herself and all enchantment creatures you control trample lifelink ward 2 on your turn. And then she also will reanimate a enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Keep in mind that doesn't need to be enchantment creature. You can just bring back your normal enchantments if they do happen to get removed as well. And then finally, we've got Summon Knights of Round. Oh, I absolutely love this card. There are so many decks that I want to see this card in because it's going to create some knights. It creates 13 knights overall. So, sorry, it creates 12 knight tokens plus itself being a knight, which again works well with that Dion from before. But this part here, other creatures you control get +2/+2. Put an indestructible counter on each of them. We've got a proliferate deck. We can proliferate those counters, indestructible counters. We can then move those indestructible counters around to our other stuff with, like, Titus and anything else that moves things around. It is actually pretty crazy with Titus to be able to do that. All right. Into our cuts, we got Destroy Evil. As I said, I'll replace this with the Stroke of Midnight, Memories of Nibelheim. We've got Farseek, replace that with Cultivate. Lord Jyskull Guarda, we've got better card draw now. This is card draw, but it's like card draw that you then have to pay for it. We've got Pull from Tomorrow, we've got better card draw. Summon Ascending here. I don't know. You kind of want to remove stuff from your opponent's graveyards with this. You don't want to remove your own stuff. Like, you could remove your summons, but instead I'd rather just reanimate them. Tireless Tracker, there's not a huge amount of landfall within the deck, as well as the fact that whenever we sacrifice a clue, like, we're needing to pay for the card draw there. Altered Ego, yeah, I don't need to copy something when I can just get better creatures out. Chocobo Knights is good. I think it was the last cut that I did here, but I felt like we just had better stuff to get us rolling rather than giving everything double strike with this. And it's also like only whenever you attack rather than all the time. We've got Path of Discovery here. Whenever a creature you control enters, it explores. Good for +1s, but we've got better stuff for +1 counters now. Rampant Rejuvenator, but we've got better ramp. Like the Summon Fenrir, for example, I think is better. This specifically has to die to be able to ramp as well, which, yeah, it's going to potentially be like 4 for a 2/2 that when it dies gets 2 basics. Not great in my opinion. Promise of Loyalty, yeah, we've got like, I think there's 3 board wipes or something like that within the base deck. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 board wipes within the base deck. I don't think we needed a Promise of Loyalty. Like, I think 2 board wipes is fine. So, Sunscore's Regent is really slow. I felt like instead of having that, having the Ishtai was better. Like, the Ishtai costs a bit less. And then also it's just going to be able to be on flavor as well, more than weird dragon thing. Like, I don't know, maybe the Ishtai could be replaced by a Sunscorched Regent if you don't happen to get it, but I just felt like Ishtai was better suited. And then the Bane of Progress here is just very expensive. It's going to wipe all the artifacts and enchantments. I did, like, you know, there is a fair few enchantments within the deck, like the base deck. So I just felt like, you know, bringing this in and then wiping out all our enchantments is a bit meh. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys as to what you think. Do you agree with the cuts I've made? Do you agree with the additions here? As I said, you know, keeping it on Final Fantasy flavor, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Have a great day and goodbye.